Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of the F-150 quote-unquote restoration video. So what we're going to be doing, obviously I have kind of fast-tracked a little bit, and I've gotten a little bit more done than what you're going to see on video. But what we're going to be doing in this series is we're going to be more or less restoring and modifying my 1991 Ford F-150 with the 302 5-liter in it and AOD automatic transmission. So the plan more or less for this truck is, so what I've already done is I've already went ahead and removed the cab and the bed off of the truck. I've disconnected all the lines from anywhere I could find. I also went ahead and removed the gas tanks, fuel lines, brake lines. I took the wheels off. I went ahead and disconnected as much as I could to go ahead and get a jump start on this. And while I do apologize, I have not recorded a lot of that, mostly because I was just trying to get it done. As you guys might also be able to tell, we added some extra lighting into the shop. So now the shop has 2 sets of lights. So we have our regular lights, and then we have our new LED lights, which by the way are very bright. I just stared at them. Those are Harbor Freight lights. If you want to check them out, I'll post a picture on the screen where you guys can go check it out. I'm not affiliated, I'm not sponsored, but I do love these lights already, and they are very, very bright. But they also add for a very nice lighting effect for recording videos, ironically enough. But anyway, so some of the things that we do need to fix on this truck while we have the frame in the condition that it is currently in. The frame has a couple areas that are needing work, one of which is the rear cab mount on the passenger side. The frame has already been patched on that side as well. As you can see, I cut out the old section that was rusted out and replaced it with some 2x2 angle, and then drilled a hole back in it for the bed mount. But up underneath that bed mount, the lip of the frame has some rather bad rust damage obviously from age. But like I previously stated, the truck does have a Ford 302 motor, a 5-liter roller block, as well as a 6-inch rough country suspension lift with some 2-inch level pucks up underneath that. It was carb swapped. It had an Elderbrock 1406, which I believe was a 600 CFM carb, and an Elderbrock Performer RPM intake. So aside from the obvious, which will be that we're going to completely take that motor and transmission out while we do the frame restoration, quote unquote, I would like to also give a quick apology, as I'm probably going to be all over the place in this video. I have a lot to talk about, as I have not gotten my ducks in a row, so to speak. We have the shop foreman out today, old Pepper. Everybody say hi to Pepper. You want to say hi? Okay, not yet. She will say hi later though. What I've already started doing on this is obviously dismantling it, taking the gas tanks out. As you guys can see back here, I've already removed the rear gas tank, the straps that hold it. I've also removed the front gas tank and straps that hold that. As you can see right here, I went ahead and disconnected the brake line that goes all the way to the back. Now, as you can see here, which you might be able to see it, I'm not 100% sure, I did cut the brake line. And the reason for this, for the rear, the reason for this is this line is very, very old. This is the original brake line that came on the truck, and it was just simply time for me to just go ahead and cut it, as I'm going to be doing all brand new hardware all the way around, and it just seemed fitting to just go ahead and cut it and not reuse it. Now, it was a good line. Yes, I could have reused it. However, I'd rather just go ahead and buy something brand new. Now, the lift kit that is on this truck, like I said, is a rough country 6-inch lift kit. I did install this lift kit about 4 years ago, give or take, maybe 3 years ago. And it has been a phenomenal lift kit. Now, the thing I don't like is what I did in the back. Now, due to the fact that I did not have the original lift blocks in the truck, as they were just MIA, I put a boatload of washers on this, and I really am mad at myself for doing this. The reason I did that is the U-bolts were too long and the unthreaded part was sticking up, so I had to figure something out. I also didn't even get a chance to tighten down this center bolt. It just spins freely in there in the leaf pack. But nevertheless, we are going to pull this rear end out. We're going to swap it from disc brake to drum brake, or we're going to go from drum brake to disc brake, as drum brakes are outdated, and let's be real, I don't want to use drum brakes because they are a pain. While they're great, they are a pain, and these never worked properly anyway since I've had the truck. The other thing to mention is this truck has an open rear diff. It is a 355 rear. We will be swapping to a limited slip. Obviously it's the Ford 8.8 rear end, but we will be swapping it over to the limited slip variant. I have been wanting to do that since I own the truck, but we will be keeping the 355 gear ratio. Now coming up here, for the motor and transmission, we will be staying with the 302 5 liter. I do have another motor picked out because this one, unfortunately, I did pull the valve covers and started pulling the motor apart. This motor was fully rebuilt. I fully rebuilt this motor, got it running, was tuning the carburetor because the carburetor was way out of adjustment. And I failed to do the one thing when you rebuild a motor, and that is to run it for 20 minutes at a higher RPM to break in everything. So because of that, I fried the main, not the main bearings, I fried the connecting rod bearings, and cylinder number 1, the connecting rod actually came loose. The main cap came off a little bit. I think it was like a 1/4 inch off, so I had to basically shut everything down, pull the motor, tighten that back up, and I was hoping for the best, and the motor seized up on me. No, it did not seize up while running. It seized up overnight. So we're going to tear it apart obviously way later, and we're going to see the diagnostic on that. So that'll be way later in the series. Now, as you can obviously see, when I was tearing apart the cab from the frame, I cut some certain parts. The speedometer cable got cut. I do have a new one of those already, so I wasn't worried about that. But I did cut the steering shaft. And a lot of people are going to look at me funny, or they're probably going to be like, why would you do that? You know, that's horrible. All of my steering play when I had the truck lifted was because of this right here. So there's bushings that go in here that were just, they were original to the truck, and they just since deleted themselves. And so I had a lot of play in it. And over time, that's going to wear it out and make things worse. So I just went ahead and cut it, as we're going to go ahead and do a brand new one. We're going to do an adjustable one like that was already on the truck. Aside from all of that, the next motor, I don't think we're going to do anything super fancy. The motor that I am looking at already has aluminum heads, so we will be able to reuse those. I believe it is a roller motor. However, the only way I'm going to figure that out is by opening it up and finding out. However, if it does have the threads for the roller valley, I think I'm going to go ahead and retrofit and go ahead and take these rollers and lifters out of here because they're still in good condition. They're just dirty. I'll go ahead and do a really nice deep clean on them, get them back to 100%. You know, there's very light surface rust. However, it's in an area I don't think it's going to hurt anything. And then we'll check all the lifters out. We will do a really nice clean on them, and then we will reinstall them. Now, I don't know if I previously stated this, but this truck has been with me for years. I've had this truck since I graduated high school. As you probably noticed, this truck is 2-wheel drive. This is not a 4-wheel drive truck, and I have a lift kit on it. I also had a body lift on this thing. Two of the dumbest mods I could have possibly shoved on this truck, in my honest opinion. I shouldn't have ever done it. I should have lowered it like I originally wanted to, but besides all of that. But hopefully in part 2, we'll be pulling the motor off and pulling all the extra accessories I think we're going to go ahead and pull the axles while we're at it, pull the front I-beam suspension, and get it even further down into a bare frame. From the tail shaft back on the frame, other than the rear axle, it is completely stripped. It is completely ready. And all we got to do is drop the rear axle, which probably won't be too hard. So anyway, guys, until I see you guys in the next video, hopefully I'll have a part 2 here soon within the next week or two. And we can get some more progress on this truck, because I already have paint, because I do plan on painting the frame, hopefully to prevent rust. That's kind of the big reason behind it. But while we're at it, we're also going to figure out what it's going to take to get this frame back where it's supposed to be. I have a feeling that some of the areas on this frame, because I'm looking at it right now, we might have to grind rivets off. If we do have to grind rivets off, I think I'm going to just go ahead and call it and weld the frame together. I do have everything to do it. I do have the power to do it, and I might just do it. If anything, we might go ahead and make our own custom supports. I think that'd be really cool, and it'd be a one-off. I could be wrong. There could be plenty of people that do that. But I think I'm going to go ahead and weld the supports back in place once we remove the rivets, because behind those plates is rust. I know there's rust behind it. I know there's rust underneath the rivets, and I want to buy every ounce of rust I possibly can from this frame. I want this frame to be absolutely pristine when I'm done, and I don't want to have to worry about anything from here on out. So, but anyway, I will see you guys in part 2, which, like I said, hopefully I'll get out soon, and we'll make some more progress. So hopefully you guys will stick around for the project. Hopefully you guys are interested. This is probably textbook definition of a frame off. Anyway, I'll see you guys in part 2. Peace.